Imagine waking up in Lisbon and realizing your $6,000 monthly remote salary just lost real ground, fast. After the March 2025 Fed pivot, the dollar fell 8% against the euro in 6 weeks, and thousands of nomads saw their FIRE timelines pushed back by years because they were earning in a weakening currency. But a few saved over $9,000 by treating currency as a variable to be managed, not a fact of life. In 2025, the digital nomad world got a wake-up call when the US dollar took a sharp dive against the euro and the Thai baht. For those of us living the geoarbitrage lifestyle, earning in high purchasing power currencies while spending in low cost of living countries, this was a direct hit to our savings rates. Unlike 2024, where the dollar felt invincible, last year proved that your $100,000 salary is only worth what the local market says it is. If your monthly expenses were $3,000 in Lisbon, the 2025 drop suddenly made that same lifestyle cost $3,150 in USD terms. Over 12 months, that's a $9,000 leak in your portfolio. Sophisticated nomads heading into 2027 are no longer settling for the default mode of just holding USD. They are actively looking at currency as the first layer of their tax and investment strategy. This isn't about speculation. It's about protecting the principal you've worked so hard to build in your Interactive Brokers account, COS. The 2025 drop was a stress test, and the nomads who survived were the ones who had already moved their rails away from a single point of failure currency system. Most nomads start with Wise or Revolut, and for basic transfers, they work great. These are electronic money institutions, or EMIs, designed to hold and transfer money rather than act as full-scale banks, FOCI. However, the 2025 crash revealed the EMI trap. Many nomads were holding large balances in these accounts, waiting for a better exchange rate that never came. Because EMIs like Wise are not traditional banks, they don't offer the same yield-generating products or sophisticated hedging tools that investors need during high volatility. Wise, Revolut, Payoneer. They are excellent rails, but they are not a fortress. Using them for international transfers is smart, but leaving 6 months of runway in a falling currency is a mistake. For the cycle ahead, you need to understand that your IBAN is just an address, not a strategy. Fashion. The nomads who saved that $9,000 didn't just hold euros. They used institutional-grade tools to lock in rates when the dollar was still strong. They moved their wealth into structures that could weather a 183-day residency requirement without being at the mercy of the daily forex spot price, (SIX). The single most powerful tool in the nomad finance stack for 2026 is Interactive Brokers. While retail nomads use Wise to convert their lunch money, the pros use IBKR to manage their global net worth, (3). IBKR is often the only international brokerage that doesn't close your account just because you moved from Portugal to Paraguay, (FRI). More importantly, it gives you access to institutional forex rates that are significantly better than what you'll find on any EMI. IBKR's Ideal Pro FX charges $2 per 100K traded. Wise charges 0.5% mid-market on a $10,000 conversion. That's $2 versus $50. During the 2025 drop, nomads with IBKR accounts were able to place limit orders to buy foreign currency at their preferred price points, effectively hedging their future living expenses. This is critical when you're managing a $50,000 to $150,000 remote income. By keeping your core wealth in a globally accessible brokerage that handles multi-currency natively, you ensure that you can pivot your spending power to whatever country treats you best without losing thousands in the conversion. 3.7. To truly hedge your life, you have to understand the math of local purchasing power. According to data from Numbeo.com, the cost of living varies wildly even within the same region, (ACRES). In 2025, while the dollar was dropping against the euro, it remained relatively stable against some emerging market currencies. Nomads who were monitoring these trends shifted their base from expensive hubs like Lisbon to emerging hubs like Tbilisi, Georgia. This is the ultimate hedge, geographic diversification. Georgia operates a territorial tax system, meaning your remote income is untaxed locally, allowing you to absorb currency fluctuations more easily than in a high-tax jurisdiction. By using Numbeo to track the real-time cost of a basket of goods, you can decide when it's time to move your tax residency before the currency drag eats your 4% safe withdrawal rate. By next year, being a nomad isn't just about travel. It's about understanding, as Andrew Henderson argues, that where you stand determines what you keep, Severs. One of the biggest hidden costs during the 2025 drop was housing. As Jeff Hurst, the CEO of Furnished Finder, points out, the 30 to 90-day midterm rental market is booming because it offers more stability than Airbnb, (10). But for nomads, these contracts create a currency mismatch. If you sign a 3-month lease in euros, but your income is in USD, you are essentially shorting the dollar for 90 days. The nomads who saved their $9,000 in 2025 were the ones who pre-funded their rentals. Instead of paying month to month and watching the price rise in USD terms, they converted their entire 3-month budget into the local currency the day they signed the lease. This spot lock strategy is a basic form of hedging used by corporations, and it's time you used it for your life. Housing, utilities, co-working fees, these are your fixed foreign costs. By 2027, the most successful nomads will be those who treat their living expenses as a liability that needs to be matched by a corresponding currency asset. This is how you avoid lifestyle creep that is driven by markets rather than your own choices. Managing multiple currencies isn't just a finance task, it's a tax reporting requirement. If you are a U.S. citizen, you are subject to worldwide taxation, and the IRS requires you to report your foreign accounts on your FBAR if they exceed $10,000. During the 2025 drop, many nomads accidentally triggered taxable currency gains. If you bought euros when the dollar was strong and then spent those euros later when the dollar was weak, the IRS technically views that as a capital gain. While you may be using the Foreign Earned Income Exclusion, FEIE, to exclude up to $126,500 of your earned income, that exclusion does not cover currency gains or passive investment income. This is a major pain point. You need to keep clean records in your Wyoming LLC. 0 state income tax, no in-person requirement, or your personal spreadsheet to ensure you aren't hit with a $10,000 penalty for non-filing. 12 or 13. As markets reprice, the transparency of systems like the Common Reporting Standard means your Wise and Revolut data is increasingly visible to tax authorities. 14. Being legally untaxed requires you to be technically perfect with your multi-currency bookkeeping. So, how do you protect yourself from the next dollar drop? The goal heading into 2027 is to build a currency fortress. This means holding your emergency fund in a stable neutral currency or a basket of currencies that matches your expected travel path. Unlike the nomads of 2025 who were caught off guard, you should be using interactive brokers to maintain balances in USD, EUR, and perhaps a stable emerging market currency. This is ruthlessly optimizing around a deliberate life. Or, you aren't just a traveler. You're a global citizen who understands that currency is just another tool in your asset allocation. By keeping your monthly burn rate in the local currency of your tax home, you eliminate the daily anxiety of checking the exchange rate. Whether you're pursuing FIRE in a territorial tax country like Malaysia or Panama, your focus should be on your local purchasing power, not your USD balance. 8-9. The $9,000 saved by smart nomads last year wasn't luck. It was the result of building a financial system that prioritizes mobility and optionality over the default mode of domestic banking. Currency hedging is the difference between a nomad, who is at the mercy of the markets, and one who is in total control of their FIRE timeline. You now know the spot lock tactic, the IBKR ideal pro rate, and the FEE exclusion ceiling. If you're ready to stop settling for the default mode and start optimizing your global life, subscribe. We drop a new deep dive nomad finance strategy every week. Next video, the 7 territorial tax countries, where your remote income stays 100% untaxed while you travel.